Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I think you can hear me now. I can see that the mic is working. Whatever is happening here to my computer system, my sounds were not working. In fact, the intro, I just tried to test the intro and I'm not hearing any sound. So I can hear the desktop audio, but I'm going to need to spend probably the next few hours just trying to get this mic is working properly. So I apologize, you guys, for everything. A frustrating experience, and I feel bad whenever I'm not able to provide a decent viewing experience. But the fact that you guys are here, I appreciate it. I went in and rebooted the computer, so everything I had lined up to show you is not on my screen anymore. But let's get past that. I don't think you guys tuned in to hear my problems. Sales. How are your sales? I can tell you, I was going to show you, but now I'm going to have to tell you that the sales are kind of wonky. They're kind of all over the place. A couple days ago, I had not a bad day, $350 day, and today it's like $100. Yesterday was not so good. So kind of where we're at, and it just kind of tells me that that we're dealing with Q4, and in Q4, the last part of it, it's kind of the last couple of years have been a little different. Like 2 years ago, we had a great last 2 weeks of Q4, and we weren't even home part of the time. And then last year wasn't so good, and this year really isn't so good. So hopefully everyone is doing better than I am so far. We're just going to cruise. We're going to keep listing. We're going to get the listings up and, let the sales take care of themselves at some point. Now, like I said, I had some things lined up to show you guys, and it may be just too much to queue back up, but that's kind of what I had. And I'm, in light of the video I made today, man, is this an omen? Is this the YouTube? I don't believe in YouTube gods, but because there's only one. But as far as, is this just the world telling me telling me get the hell off of here? So, like I said, we're going to be doing this in 2026. I made a video earlier today as an update. The update of the video was because about a year ago I put out a video saying, guys, 2025 is going to determine if we continue this channel or not. And I thought it was probably about the right time to make a decision, and we're gonna definitely go through the end of 2026. Despite the technical issues and the omens, we're gonna keep pushing forward. And I still believe that we have a story to tell on this channel. We still haven't. We're not where we want to be on the YouTube. Well, forget YouTube. On the eBay side of things, we're not where we want to be. We on eBay are doing fine, right? But there is more room for growth. There's more. I have more ability to do. I have a better ability to do more than I have been, and I think it's through processes. I think developing processes is key, because we can all sit here in front of our computer, list one at a time, and we're only going to be able to get so far. And I talk about this tomorrow on the Profit Playbook podcast. Yes, we do talk a little bit about AI, just a disclaimer, but it is important. You're either hiring a VA or you're going to find a way to integrate AI into the equation. And let me give you the good news, guys. You don't have to necessarily pay for it. Yeah, you can utilize a program like TreeCat, and they're implementing AI into their processes quite often, and they're adding more and more, which is pretty cool. But you can do something like the Perplexity comment browser and have a virtual AI assistant, and you don't even have to do anything. To know anything about programming. If you know how to type a message as to what you want and tell the AI, here's what I want, how can we make this work? Like Beard has a list that he wants to create to be able to help him compile a list of items he sold and their locations. It's like a pick list. And that pick list he's able to now go and quickly find what he's looking for. That's a great idea. Now, we have about 10 items a day on, maybe about 10 to 15 items a day that we sell on between both accounts. And the pick list is probably a really good idea if you're selling more than that, to have something generate, give me a look and the title and the location for each of these things. So I can just go and quickly grab it. AI within minutes, guys. It's like literally, I'm signed in on the Perplexity AI comment browser, which is free, by the way. And if you have a PayPal account, you can get the pro version for a year for free. Go on there and sign in on one of the tabs to your eBay account. And then on another tab, just start a dialogue. Go into my eBay and create a pick list for all the items I have to ship today. And it'll go through and create it. And if you don't like the format, you can say, look, I'd rather you do it next time like this. And when you do it tomorrow, it's going to show up a little differently. So it doesn't have to be about listing. It has to do about processes. And, that process alone, depending on how many items that you're shipping, could save you literally a half an hour a day, maybe more. If you're like this gentleman right here, Thomas says, well, if you like him and selling a lot, you might need a pick list. And of course, he has a pick list going on in his logo right there. Says, if you quit YouTube, I'll send Pegasus a Raiders hat and ask him to wear it every video. We'll match his black V-neck shirt he always wears. Right now, the plans aren't. I mean, if I told you, look, I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to allow things that happen determine, how smoothly this live stream goes will determine if we come back. I would have had to use this diatribe time to tell you about how great it was and to thank each and every one of you guys. But and I'm still thankful for each and every one of you guys. And thank you for the super chat. I certainly appreciate that. I just feel like we still have a story to tell. And I feel like I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited for the growth idea, the growth phase. I've been working on things to literally free up my time. We're talking, heck, if I can free up 3 hours a week, that's huge for me. And while doing that, speed up and get more things listed to grow, then I'm all for it. But thank you for that, and I hope that you can hang out with us. I know you got to go to work here. I saw the comments in the first attempt that we had for this live stream, and I feel bad that I, of course, had to ditch all those. It turns out that OBS Studio, this is the program that I use, it likes to update itself. And it literally turned off everything. I don't even have a way to, at least it's not showing me, a way to play my intro. And I guess for some, it's not that big of a deal. For me, it's somewhat annoying because it's, you spend time putting it together and you don't expect that kind of thing to happen when you I'm probably going to have to show up about 10, 15 minutes earlier and just try to check everything out. The problem is that things don't work even then. We're going to delay the live. I guess that's probably what I need to do is just do a test record and make sure everything's running because it just pops up its ugly head, and decides to work or not to work. But thanks again, Thomas. I appreciate you, buddy. So one other thing I wanted to talk about, and that is, this time of year, guys, there's people out there that are less fortunate. I mean, heck, I'm having a bad day, and I know there's people out there that are having a worse day than I am. There's people out there that are less fortunate than us. We can sit here and talk about, holidays and Christmas and getting together with family and what we're going to do for the holidays and all that. But there are people out there that right now would just like to have half of what we have. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, it's the time of the year to talk about it, giving to others. Normally we go out to California and we do a gift exchange. And kudos to Jenna's sister Megan for coming up with this. We're not going out to California this year, but she said, instead of giving everyone a gift this year, let's just throw like $50 in and put it together, pull it together, and give it to a family that could use it uh, for um, for Christmas. So she's in charge of all that. It's um, not saying saying this to kind of just say, oh, look, we were able to give money. I just think it's a good idea if you can find it in your heart to, uh, even if it's $10, try to help somebody out this week, because you just do not know what kind of impact that you're going to make when you do something like that. So my only thing is my only hope, and I guess this is probably going to happen. I don't know what family it is, but I guess Megan's working on that to figure that part of it out. I'd love to see some photos of where did this money go, and some photos, and to see some happy faces on some kids' faces. That's kind of worth it all. So hopefully that's what happens here, and hopefully that message to you guys can motivate somebody out there from, don't throw me a super chat this week or whatever. Just you maybe use it, give it to somebody who could really, really, it'll make their week and make their holiday if you could do that. So thank you guys for being here, and I guess we'll get on with what works, and that is the comments. So I gotta say, Spam and Primo were the first to find my stream second time, but I do remember, and I'll say this, I do remember Brenda was first on the other stream. So thank you so much for trying to be first. First the likes is Henry Squaw. Joshua Hill says round 2. Yep. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get it. 2026 is going to be the year of growth and the year of no more technical difficulties. I say that, but Jenna, you can see Jenna's not here. She's not feeling well. She hasn't been feeling well for the last couple of days. And she's like, she did the shipping and she's like, look, I'm just not going to be able to do it, and before the show, she came in here. Oh, she's sending me texts for some reason. So let me shut this off. But she came in here and said, hey, what's going on? You might want to get an upgrade on the computer. But I don't know. I've got to really go through this and to work it out and try to find out why my computer's going crazy. I was even trying to type in the chat on the last live stream that, I'm going to have to do another one. And I got like 4 words in and like the E started going nuts. And I'm like, how does that happen? So I backspaced it to try to fix it, and it went all the way back. Something's going on. I have this keyboard connected through Bluetooth, and it's been going crazy. So a lot of technical problems going with a technical person. And so with people coming over, family coming over starting Monday, and then my son comes over Monday, and then my daughter comes over Wednesday. It's going with all their families. It's going to be a lot going on here. So I need to work on that tonight and this weekend to get things right. And we will, despite the fact that my son's coming over Monday, we are going to have a live stream on Monday. So please make sure you're with us. Duncan says, buy Jenna some KFC. She'll get instantly better. I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I was even thinking maybe something we do on Monday, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of a cool live stream to like say, send, and I won't even say send super chats, send like, not super chats, but send money to a Venmo address to like send more money to this family or whatever. I was going to talk about doing something like that. I thought it was a cool thing, but I don't like asking people for money. It just, I don't like really, I really feel uncomfortable even accepting like super chats and stuff like that. This is kind of the way I feel, but I really feel good about doing something nice, this time of year. Henri Squaw says, howdy again, everyone. Nice to see you, Henri Squaw. And second time's a charm. Let's hope. Here's the good news. You won't have to listen to my intro. You won't have to listen to the outro. It's just funky, not working. Let's start over on Mike. Mike Camparelli, nice to see you. Joe Samard. Yeah, the audio is working good though, I believe, right? Because I could see my bar on there. Let's see. Andy says, "Hello, FA family. If anyone had a great year, calling it for the year." Yeah, I would say, look, one thing I wanted to show you is we did have a good year, sales wise. I think we all kind of want to know what everyone's kind of doing. Let me go back here. I'll show you. This is the inconsistency of what we're dealing with. And I don't know if you guys are dealing with that too. The last 31 days we're down 16.5%. Let me move this off the screen. We're down 16.5%. And let me just move myself here because I am in your way. I don't want to be in anyone's way. And so down 16.5%. Look, we had Wednesday, $39 day. Yesterday, I don't know why I said yesterday we had a bad day. Yesterday we had $322 and today at 106. So you guys see it's not anywhere near what we're used to doing. When we go to our sales, I want to do for the year, and this year as compared to last year, we're at 145,391. I would say we would be lucky to hit 150 at this point based on what I'm seeing with the traffic. Well, not the traffic, but the sales volume that's happening. But you never know. 145, 391, that's up 8.5%. So we are probably going to finish a solid 6 to 7% up from last year. Now, if you tell me this next time at this year that we were going to be up 6 to 7% from this year, I would be happy with that. 1,931 items sold. We're probably not going to hit the 2,000 mark. And $75.29. All numbers that are up. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I want to know what you guys, how you're doing as well. And the secondary account helps. I think we're at 30 something thousand. So about 180,000 is probably we're going to finish with about a 47% margin. Casey, New York says, "Hi, everybody. Nice to see you, Casey, New York." And Maypole says, "Hi, all. Happy Friday." Real quick, shout out to a gentleman and a veteran named Corey. And Corey sent me an email. And I guess the message that I gave today, it was a lot of good comments in the video, and I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time to comment on the video. I don't know if the video itself caused some confusion. There's some people that are saying, "Hey, sorry to see you leave," but it's like we're going to stick around. We've got, you guys have us for one more year. Now next year, what are going to be the things that cause us to decide to say we're going to hang it up? One would be just if I feel like the channel is not relevant anymore, meaning that, we make videos and, all we get are like, "Hey, dude, you just keep talking about the same thing over and over again." Of course, that's on me, not you guys. But if I feel like we're helping people do better with their business, we're going to stay. If I feel like, we're growing as a channel and not falling off as a channel, I'm always, I never want to do something with my time where we're not seeing results, right? And it really has nothing to do with money. I'm fine with the amount of money we're making on YouTube. It's really about like, can we build the community more? Or are we going to have the same 30 people that we've had since day one? I just like to see more involvement. And, I know there's a lot of people that are like in, that are either the rewatch crew, they can't make it, or their TVs just don't allow them to jump on and chat. I get it. But that onus is on me, not you guys, to do better and to get better content out there. So that's kind of something that I'm working on behind the scenes through this technology here that I need to upgrade, and or I went out and got an iPad. I upgraded my 6-year-old iPad. I tried to use my iPad outside to record some of these videos while I'm working with my phone, but I noticed that the image, that version of the iPad was really too bright. I mean, it was like washing me out when I'm on the video. And so that wasn't going to cut it. So we're upgrading that, and hopefully here the next time I make one of those videos, it'll be a lot better performance. So there's a lot of things that are going into it that I am excited for. And of course, if I fail, you guys are going to know it. You'll be part of the journey all next year. But if something happens to where I'm just not the same seller. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for me to say, "Hey, look, take my advice. I'm flopping here." That just doesn't make sense. So, if we're doing well, we're going to share it, and we're going to share everything, good and bad. Not that not we're going to hide anything from you. But what I'm saying is, we will be here if we continue to do well reselling. So that's the goal for next year. Joe says we get 2 thumbs up today. Yes, hit it twice. Well, hit it 3 times because that way it's an odd number. If you hit it the second time, it cancels it out. John Rad Relic says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. Mike Mecco says I clicked the like during the first stream and now click for the second. Do I get 2 sales? Sure. You can have 3 sales, Mike. Christ is King. This is the season. Joshua says, Merry Christmas to all. Nice to see you. This is Paul Rose. Evening, John and Jenna, back in the saddle again. Yes. Callie Debs says, how's my everyone doing? Mike says, hi, Pamela. Nice to know you. And Jovia says, don't beat yourself up, John. If they don't understand things happen, then they can swipe left. But it happens too much on my channel. I can understand having something happen every so often, but the comedy of errors just seems to happen to my account. I love this hat, by the way. Thank you, Mr. Tommy, on that. Spam says, building up the suspense. I'm here for it. Aloha, family. Reseller Life. I think that's Romans. Says John Red Relics ain't easy. And yeah, I can't catch a break today. And if I had some better success today, it just seems like just roadblock after roadblock, glitch after glitch, issue after issue, and then Jenna's not feeling well, so it's just like blah. Tommy Z says hello all FA family, and especially the most excellent reselling couple. Many thanks for yet another live. Well, thank you, Tommy Z, for being here. Is this a reselling channel? Sometimes. Today, not so much. Not as much as before. Snoopy Collector, nice to see you. And then Roman says, John Lennon was asking about you. Lenin as in the Russian Lenin. Callie Deb says, I can hear you fine now. G. Gazara says, audio's back. We have the dulce tones, all good, big guy. Yes, I think I said that right. Dulcet tones or dulce. Got to get through the sponsored ads, LOL. Yeah, that's part of the thing. John needs a new computer. I build my own computers. I look back, and this thing I upgraded like 4 years ago. I have 64 gigs of RAM on this dang thing, and I went to go look at some of the components on a newer rig, like these are DDR4, DDR5s. If I want the same amount of RAM for this thing, it's going to cost me over $1,000 the way memory is right now. It's expensive. It's like ridiculously expensive. So, we got someone blocked Al Nassari Mahmoud. It's nice to see. What's wrong with people? And then you got the trolls. Forget about that. Drummer Dem50 says, cheers, John. Nice to see you. All good in the hood. And then Beard says, what's up, John? Well, chances are you're having a better day than me. But the fact that I have you guys here hanging out with me kind of makes it all better. Simplify says, slow down. Mine's already his monthly quota. Previous 2 months were slow, but that's my fault. I wasn't able to do much. Yeah, I mean, if you're bogged down by stuff, you're going to hit delays, but lower performing stores and less sales. We had folks coming into town. My business calls them distractions. I'm aware of them, but we're not going to not entertain family and friends when they come in. Rad Relic says, I just sold a $350 leather jacket. I love that. No problem as long as you don't go anywhere, John. You got me for another year at least. That I can promise you guys. I'll be here through next year. Paul says, we tuned in to see you, pal, and Jenna, no sweat. Pink says, my sales have been down. eBay tells me my best day was October 23rd, and then it kind of went downhill, huh? Upstate Picker says, my everything stores have dropped off a cliff. Ephemera store is picking up the slack. How many of you guys are still getting buyers that are hopeful they're going to get it for Christmas? Have you received one of those messages saying, hey, I've had a couple come say, can I come pick up? So I've had some people, one person said they're driving um, to Colorado. I guess they're going for Christmas or something somewhere. They're driving through Colorado through Vegas and want to know if they buy. It's a modem combo. It's one of those Aris router modems. Can I do a local pickup? I'm sorry. I'm not in the local pickup game. Some people might do it, but for me, it's like, I mean, we'll mail it, we'll get it to where you're going, but chances are you'll probably get it before Christmas, even though I don't want to promise you that. It's only going a state over. How many people are getting those kind of messages? Jody Triple J Resellers, hi all. Happy Friday. Sales slowed down a couple days ago. Roman says John Rad Relic sells so much stuff that he'll soon move to Russia and open a brick and mortar store near the Red Square. If the Red Square is still there. Shopping with Cheryl, just wait until people get those gift cards for Christmas and need to spend them. Yeah, hopefully they can get some eBay gift cards. Duncan says, if I hit the like, I'll get another sale as I'll spend all day packing. And you know what? I think there's a lot of people that complain about that. Someone's at my door. I think that's Jenna. If I hit the like, I'll get another sale, and that is fine. Get more sales, and I think the idea that you're packing more is just a good thing, right? Who wants to complain about sales? If you can get me a sale, I'll be in there all night packing. I don't care. Christina says, great, I'm glad. Roman says, I'm going to fix Putin's PC for him. He has a Mac, I think. Tommy Z says, applause. And I think I got the applause. I can hear that. Paul says, stop being so hard on yourself. Glad to hear you're still here for 2026. A lot of people would miss you. Yeah, I feel like I'm saying, I mean, I've said this in the video earlier. I feel like I'm saying a lot of the same things when I'm looking to do content. And I don't know. We're going to see how 2026 rolls out. Team Pokey, a Grinch in the gears, no sweat. Nice job of getting it fixed. Sales are very slow. It seems to be something more than seasonal. Still listing strong. And I hate to see that it's not just me. If it's me and everyone else is like, man, I'm doing great, getting a lot of last minute people buying from me, then I'd figure I've got to take a deeper look into what I'm doing and, what I'm selling. Let's see. Roman says, John, don't mess around with Mike Metco saying that you're quitting anymore. Mike wasn't happy at all. Just do YouTube the next 15 years. I hope to make it 15 years. That'd be awesome. Rad Relic says, I have been making videos since 2014. Never give up, never back down. Maybe it's a little bit of burnout hitting me. Maybe that's what it is, a little bit of burnout. There's days that I get up and I really want to do a video. And I think of a topic. Many times I'll think of a topic for a video. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll come up with a brilliant idea of like, oh, I think this is a great idea for video. And I go on my phone and put it in the notes and I'll have notes for that. I can't go back to sleep once I wake up in the middle of the night. But there's other times where it's like I wake up and I'm like, man, I haven't put a video out in a few days and I just don't know what to say. And I feel like it's a task that I'm not completing and it bothers me. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but it is a task in my mind that I'd like to be able to do. And if I'm not making at least one video every other day, it does really not sit well with me. Let's see. Jovia says, hey, FA fam, happy underdog day. If you don't have a bad days once in a while, we can't appreciate the good ones. No, you can't. That's the thing. Busy Girl says, glad you uploaded again. Well, thank you, Busy Girl. Nice to see you here. Got Grams here. List Easier for the win. She likes List Easier. Reseller Life says, John Rad Relics told me to never quit YouTube unless you get someone pregnant. Well, that's not been possible over here for quite a few years. Rad Relic says, eventually AI will be free. It is free right now. Now, the tools that people are using, I mean, people are putting together some pretty intricate tools. Would be very difficult on our own to make a graphical user interface for any of these tools that has full functionality, API connection with eBay, and will do what, say, a VA would charge you $5 an hour for. This right now, as we know it, AI is your VA killer. And I think many people have not used VAs because I've used a VA before back in 2000, I think 17, when I was doing my, we were trying to get the drop shipping thing going, right? And so I thought, okay, let's get some VAs to create listings here. And yeah, that was a flop. So AI is going to be able to take care of all that and do a much better job. Susan says, hey, FA family, hope great sales. My sales are random, but I'm okay with that. Need to move inventory from my house to the new shed as well as from the storage unit. Well, you know, my journey, we did that a couple months ago, and I am so thankful for it. Saving the money and just to walk back here and grab what I need out of the shed is totally cool. G. Gazara says, sales are very slow. Could it be because I'm not promoting any items? I think promoting will help you. I think the slowdown itself is probably not caused by whether you're promoting or not. I think it's just everyone seems to have slowed down some. Caleb Stone says, sales have dropped the last 3 days, about $500 to $600 down from my daily average. Started a sale, promoted my store for the weekend, and sent the coupon this afternoon, and it's picked up a little bit. Yeah, I think people are pretty much, you know, for the most part, done with that. So with their buying for the holidays, they probably realize it's the 19th, and if they aren't buying on eBay, they're probably realizing they have to go onto Amazon, get, you know, use their Prime benefits, maybe go and buy it locally. I think that's what I would do if I needed a gift. You know, like a last minute thing, I probably would be shooting locally for it. Paul says, as you know, I'm no longer reselling, but was full time for 4.5 years. Can now give insight as a buyer only, but I think of you guys in chat as genuine friends now. I turn up to make you chuckle, and that's absolutely amazing to me that you, in the middle of the night. Now remember, right now for many of you, it's either in the evening or late afternoon. But this gentleman, also you got Keith. I'm not sure if he's here with us or not, and a few others that are in the UK. It's in the middle of the night. They're tuning in, not only this show, but they tune in to Beard's show in the middle of the damn night, when they could be getting some sleep or, you know, who knows, doing other fun things. And they tune into our show. I mean, what can I say? You're awesome. Crimey River says, my sales all over the place. Some days I get a few and others get none. But I think I just need to get my game up a bit and get more effort into it. Yeah. Beard says, hey, Jenna, look who is on duty. LOL. Surprised you. I don't know if is she in the chat? I think she is. She's been, she's moderating, I think. So that's good. Pegasus is a very dangerous guy, says Reseller Life. I wouldn't know. Time to Sell says, hello from Maryland. Hello, John and FA Friday Live. I'm just 2 years in reselling. John and FA channel community provides the only live real content. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's what we want to provide. I want to be able to provide motivation to people. And I don't want to be redundant. I don't want to feel burnt out in doing it. So we're just going to roll with 2026 and see how it turns out. Tay says, sales is slow. You're not the only one. Flip It Good says, happy Friday. Nice to see you, Flip It Good. Spam says, Paul, the live chats wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be the same without you guys out there in the UK. Team Pokey says, how's Pokey? Was thinking about you guys as I sent another batch of pics through local send. Paul says you're one of the best at passing on information to sellers, genuinely helpful. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I got to say, I don't see a whole lot, and my keyboard is not being cooperative, but I don't see a whole lot really to talk about. Congressman on Value Added Resource, Congressman Pat Pat Ryan wants to urge FTC to investigate collectors' holdings at Beckett and SCG. We also have another story: EU to add $3 flat customs duty fee on low-value imports in July. So, and a lot of this other stuff is just stuff that really most people don't really care about. And this is the time of year where there's really not a lot, unless there's some kind of controversy, there's really not a lot to talk about. Big Dre says, hello, John and chat. I'm stuck working mandatory overtime right now. Yeah, if you're in the, I don't know if you work for UPS, FedEx, but this is the time of the year where even the transportation industry, people are trying to get to where they're going last minute, and the phone lines get very, very backed up. So, you know what? Get that extra money. Hopefully it's overtime. And, well, you said it was overtime. Hopefully that will pay some bills. Coppercat says, hello from Arkansas. Sales have slowed down this week, but I was expecting that from now to January. And January, you know, many people say, and I usually don't see an uptick in sales until like the first week in January. But people say, you know, once Christmas is over with, you have people that spend their gift cards. Let's hope we see an uptick in that. Let's see. Busy Girl says, I couldn't even leave a like on the last one, but you can leave it on this one. I'd appreciate that. Andy says, hey, where's that girl from the shipping department? Well, she's moderating right now. There she is right there. She's just not feeling well right now. So we'll do everything we can to get her on the Monday live. Thomas says, yeah, I have to go to bed. Tomorrow's my last Saturday. I have to work until December or next December. Good night, all. Well, thanks, Thomas, for the super chat, and thank you for hanging out. You know, you're another one. Like, look, you have to go to bed. You stay up as late as you can, and you could be really spending your time, you know, doing other things. And the idea that many of you guys are consistently here, and I apologize I couldn't name all you in the video I put out today. I didn't have a list, and I felt stupid after kind of running off a few names at the beginning, because it just, I don't want anyone to feel slighted that they weren't mentioned in the video. Andy says, that's Jenna. Hey, I had my wrench in hand. Christopher Nutter's with us. Nice to see you, Chris. Paul says, absolutely right. Be thankful for what we have. Still waiting to find out if I'm handing out supplies to the homeless on Christmas Eve. They're leaving it late. And you know what? Bless you, man. God bless you for doing that. It's if a quarter of the population decided, you know what, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I'm going to do something to help someone out. Man, can you imagine what kind of world we'd have? Beard says, loading Linux Mint on an old MacBook, watching John in protest since you are missing. Well, thanks for being here. Nice to see you. I thought you stopped watching us, but you're here, so that's all that matters. Todd says, howdy again. Nice to see you, Todd, the man that doesn't promote. Samantha Hunter says, hi, John, Jen, and FA viewers. How are you doing, John? I hope you find the time to do your YouTube content for a few more years. I appreciate it, Jenna, in the chat so much. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Very, very nice of you guys for all the nice comments you guys left me. I felt like, oh no, there's a half the comments seem like they think I'm quitting in the start of 2026, and no, we're gonna give it another year. We're gonna be doing the Profit Playbook podcast. We're gonna see where that goes, and hey, if things are going well, then we'll maybe in 5 years still be here. Let's see. Spam's talking to Paul. A lot of feel betters to Jenna. John, say with me, MacBook Pro. I don't have any Macs. I'm not going to go and spend $1,500 for Mac. I enjoy the believe it or not, this sounds really sick. I enjoy Windows more so than Mac. Sorry for those of you guys who are on Mac. I'm out of my mind. Jenna says, hey friends, I'm not feeling good today, so poor John is on his own. Doing my best, darn it. Samantha says, I hope whatever you are needing in this reselling comes through, John. Either way, I support you and Jenna. Always success. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. You know what? I've said this many times, and it's not just me saying it. You guys are what's kept us here this long, to be honest with you. There's been many times we've had some ups and downs, whether it's on the YouTube side or on the eBay side. And it's just the community that's kept us continuing. So thank you. Life is short. Says completely agree about feeling grateful for what has been given. My birthday today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It wasn't ideal, nor my fourth quarter, but still grateful and thankful for what God provides as the 2026 year of rest for me. Get that rest, darn it. Hopefully you're still reselling though. Roman says, Jenna John said that you will have to replace him because he needs to go to the bathrooms. No, you take care of those things. Well, I guess you could say the same thing about my technology. You take care of those things before you get on the live. Paul says, get better soon, Jenna. See what happens when you're not here. Meg says, hey, all, sending well wishes for feeling better, Jenna. And Jovial says, anyone else getting the don't like it, return it message 2 weeks after your purchase from eBay lately? No wonder my returns have increased 30% in the last 45 days. Doesn't fit, don't like, change mind. Getting a lot of those. Yeah, getting a lot of those. Most of my returns are that. I had one the other day. Just didn't like it. Well, okay. So and it was on the last day they could open the return. So for the first 29 days, you were okay with it until you probably had some buyer's remorse. That's probably what it is. John Doe says, I have not experienced a slowdown since October, although the Christmas rush is quickly settling down. January will see sales jump back up because of the gift cards. Let's bank on that. Let's hope. Look, whenever I get a lull in sales, I don't get too down about it. I look at it as an opportunity for my store to grow. You guys know my goal is to try to get it up as close to 500 as I can, 500 items. I mean, some people are listing that in a day, depending on what they're selling. But for me, the type of items I'm selling, I'm not, I'm selling some days more items than I can actually even list. And it's just due to the nature of the kind of items I'm selling. You're dealing with a coffee maker. You're dealing with, an appliance. You're dealing with a part. You're dealing with something that requires you to test it and to make sure it's as functional as possible, clean and everything else. It's going to take a little bit of time. Let's see. Roman says, I don't accept returns anymore until June. Don't do that. That'll hurt your sales. Let's see here. Jenna says, thank you for the well wishes. I have to lay down. I'll see you all on Monday, God willing. You'll be fine, honey. Roman says, John, you can only quit YouTube when Todd retires from YouTube in about 100 years. Hugs of Jenna. And Mike said, no one says that. I'm not sure what you meant that is. I've said a lot of things that someone might not say. We got Basket Noodle. Nice to see you. And Thomas, who was supposed to go to bed, is still there. I'm 45% up last year for money and 26% quantity sold. I'm glad, but I think overshot. I don't think I can do that again next year. If your circumstances don't change, you certainly can, I think. And maybe even throw in a small goal of maybe 5% on top of that. Let's see. Biff says, there are too many reselling channels that talk about the same thing over and over again. This is not one of these channels. I try to diversify what I'm saying, but sometimes it's it either comes off the wrong way or it's not well explained. I think and it causes some confusion. I do the best that I can, but sometimes it just doesn't. The videos don't hit right. Let's see. Beard says, Biff, will you miss me tonight? Are you doing your show tonight, Beard? I thought you said something about not doing your show, but maybe you are. I don't know. Biff says, I was down 25% year over year in May, but I'll finish up 10% year over year because I rallied, and I think eBay sorted out a lot of its search issues. And I think you actually were working with a little bit of AI technology too. So I think so you're not, even though Alabama and Oklahoma, that's a bowl game, right? That's probably a bowl game. Paul says, John, as you say, there's always a new eBay stuff to report on, but you just can't repeat yourself. Totally agree. But people also come here for both you, Jen, and the community support. All valuable. And we realize that. We know that. We just want to make sure. I guess the term that I used in the video is I don't want to wear out my welcome in that I don't want to be that guy, that guy that's like, he's still on YouTube. Wow, he's still complaining about the weather, or he's still complaining about the return policy, and he's done nothing different with his business since then. Okay, next channel. Basket says, I was hoping we were going to discuss USPS astrophysics. We can. I just don't know anything about it. So feel free. Coppercat says, hello to everyone from Arkansas. Nice to see you. Paul says, John, stop beating yourself up. Most channels I follow have problems on the lives. Most way worse than you ever have. Trust me. I've seen some really professional live streams that have like a couple million subscribers have issues. Heck, I think, was it the governor of California, Governor Newsom, when he had a live stream announcing something about the fires when they were happening last year or earlier this year, and he had no volume, he had no sound. So it happens. Biff says, a buyer asked for expedited overnight shipping today. That's a block. I'm not getting caught up in that web of nonsense. I mean, look, if it's a $200 sale, I'm more interested in helping. If it's a $10 to $15 item, it's probably not worth my time to get caught up in that. You lose on the winner says, just give it a few days. If Jenna's sick, you'll be getting it too. My hubs got sick on Monday, and now I am too. It's not like she like yesterday. She was like, honey, I'm seeing orbs and I'm getting a migraine. I really haven't had one of these migraines since the summer. So I think she's been feeling from that, and I don't know why. I just want her to feel better between now and when everyone gets here on Monday. Yes, RAM prices are outrageous right now and rising. It's like, what's more valuable right now, a stick of RAM or a bar of gold? I don't know. Flipping from the trailer says, hello to all. Nice to see you. Travis in Dallas says, AI is taking up all the RAM. I know. And it was that the GPUs, the graphic cards, were the ones that were going up in price because people were running these crypto farms. And I should have been on that train a long time ago. Would have made quite a bit of money, but that was driving up the price of graphics cards. Chaos for Hire says, hey John, hope everything gets better. I do too, darn it. But we have 122 people watching the second attempt. So despite my goof ups, you guys are still here, and thank you for that. And we don't have a whole lot to talk about. So I feel pretty bad about that. Let's do this. I'm getting a wild hair here. So let's do this. Let us give away a shirt and a hat. And I'm not going to be able to do a blurb. I can't show Tree Cat's promo because no volume. So we're not going to be able to do any kind of cutaways, or you guys aren't going to be, if you're here for the outro, you're not going to be able to see that because it's not going to play. So, but let's do this. Enter in, and we're going to continue after this too. We're not ending the live stream, but enter in a number between 1 and 200. The closest number wins. We're giving away a Tree Cat hat, like right here. Here's one that really nice Tree Cat hat. So we're giving away, and this is an adjustable one. We're giving away a Tree Cat hat and a shirt. You give us your size if you win. 1 to 200. And heck, I'll even try to find us a winning number. So I'll get through some more of your comments. I'll give you a few minutes to put your number in, and we will draw a winner. Let's do that. We got Graham in Vegas says, hey folks, happy Christmas break to any fellow teachers out there. Yeah, you teachers got your break. And you know what? Trying to teach this generation is probably the most challenging thing ever. Bachelor Brad is with us. Nice to see you, Bachelor Brad. Fourth quarter is almost over. Fifth quarter will start soon. That's the way they do it in Russia, or in Kyrgyzstan. Maybe I got it wrong. Tay says, I pray she's feeling better. Get well soon. Well, thank you, Tay. Appreciate that. I'm sure you mean 2026. I hope 2026 is a better year for all. I do too. But hey, if we're here in 2036, that's good too. Count says, and also, John, I watched your earlier video. You do your 2-hour lives. If you're offered 8 to 10,000 for a free exercise machine, bite their hand off. None of us would mind an ad video, honestly. but it sends the wrong message for me. And I'm going to try to find the email. I probably won't be able to find it. Um, so many. I get a sea of videos from people who are trying to hit me up to sponsor their product. And most of the time I don't even bother. If I don't recognize the address, I just, click away. But this one I was looking at and I'm like, why would you want me? I mean, I'm not the poster child for any exercise equipment. I'm like the poster child for like popcorn and a soda. Um, I'm the wrong guy for this. Number one, fit. I mean, we have resellers here. We're trying to get, I guess, resellers exercise too. We probably should. Um, but the idea that you're going to send me anywhere from, and it was weird, anywhere from 8 to 10,000, I guess it's something I have to negotiate. But no, I didn't spend more than a few seconds even thinking about it because this channel isn't that kind of channel. And I was talking to Archie about it. He's like, "Why don't you do it?" Because I'm trying to build a channel. I'm not trying to be a grifter. I don't want that. It's just a bad look. Life is Short says, I offer 2 day at a cost and buyers only utilize it a couple days before Christmas. Save the buyers from asking me the question. Reseller Life had one yesterday, but I think it'll make it to them. So some of us are taking that chance of shipping it. Ping G says, I shipped an item today. Expected delivery between 12/22 and 12/26. And hopefully they, if you're kind of keeping track of it, and I don't recommend as sellers that we really follow these things. Maybe if it's a high value ticket item. But if you are aware that, hey, it may not get there till the 26th, let them know, so I'm keeping track and it shows that it could get there as soon as the 22nd, but not till the 26th. I'm sure that they'd appreciate that. You Lose on the Winner says, I had someone meet me in Vegas for a hoodie. They bought it on eBay. They were from Arizona. I mean, I could have. I don't want to meet anyone anywhere. I've got a lot of errands to run, I guess, but just don't want to do that. We got 97568. I wish I knew your actual handle. USPS never updated 2 weeks now. Really? Well, it's time to maybe put in a claim for a lost package then on that. Travis in Dallas says, I had someone ask me if they could pick up a $20 shirt. Let me think. No. Look, it's not, if I knew for a fact that these people were going to be here within a 15-minute window, I'm good with that, right? And I've had people buy stuff from Marketplace, and they buy from Marketplace, and they would either give me the runaround about when they're showing up, or they'd show up and then they want to negotiate. And then you'd have a few that would actually show up and pay the price. But to me, it's those experiences have really turned me off in the idea of meeting anyone local. Paul says, can you imagine the good-natured fun we, your friends, could have with that? And in all seriousness, doing that could also increase your YouTube footprint. Most channels do ads, not selling out. Yeah, I'm weird that way. I guess I'm weird that way. Basket says, it's quite simple. Did you pay for the USPS Santa Post service? That's a good one. The Upstate Picker says, I add local pickup to my listing so I can write off cool landscaping toys. There you go. And don't you even think that I won't be writing off that iPad that's coming on Sunday. It's going to be used for the recordings in the garage as its primary goal. Chaos for Hire says, yep, I had one yesterday. Ask if they'll get it before Christmas and told them I can't promise it will get there before or after Christmas. And as long as they know that and they understand, I think you're good. I think it's the lack of communication that puts people in the panic mode. That way, if they really need to provide a gift for someone, they can buy one of those gifts where they're like, look, here's a little something for you, and just know that the part B of your gift will be here on Monday or whatever, right? Busy Girl says, there's been a lot of flooding this year in Washington State. Yeah, that's a mess. Chaos for Hire says, 24 hours later, they asked the same question and told them the same thing. The next day, they asked the same question, so I blocked them for not having a brain. That's funny. It's like the people that keep giving you offers, right? They give you a $20 offer. You're like, no, 40 is the best I'm going to do on this. And they come back with 20 again. It's like some people are apt to say deny and block. But at that point, I realized no sale is going to happen, but I still play the game, reply back with 40, because I want to keep the interaction going with the buyer to at least let eBay think that that item has a lot of demand, or a lot of people looking at it, and to help boost its ranking. Noah's Addicts is glad to hear that your staying would be the same without you. I appreciate hearing that. And it really, I got to say, I don't know if Primo's here still. I don't know if Beard's here still. I know he's going to be watching his football game. And I don't even know if Josh is on with us. But as I mentioned in the video earlier today, I did recommend that I step down from PPP last week. And none of them accepted that. And it's not that I didn't want to be there. I enjoy every bit of the conversations we have. I just felt like maybe the conversation was kind of, if you're not, the conversation is going down a certain path and you're going this way and they're going that way, do you still really fit in that conversation? So they were really cool about it, and needless to say, we have another one launching tomorrow, and we're going to be doing PPP for 2026. So make sure you're there tomorrow, and you're there to check that out. It's going to be a good episode. Todd says sales Wednesday $700, Thursday $350, today $23. I think today is the start. If we're counting on a great weekend, I wouldn't count on a great weekend, guys, unless you're selling something that is more of a need and it's a high demand need item. We have some need items, but we're just still not selling them. Nose Addict says yesterday was wild. $1,600 day with 2 returns, 2 items not received, and 3 false item removals due to trademark. They're not fake. Little of everything. Well, and see, that statement right there is the perfect example of how flipping ain't easy. The easy part was all the sales, right? So you had 2 returns, 2 item not receives, and these false removals. Taking all that extra time to handle those things is a pain. Let's see. Resell Life. Todd, 23 is a good number. Michael Jordan wore the 23 jersey. Sure did. Pokey says roll Tide. They need a break. If you know what, if I'm sitting here saying, hey, this has been kind of a crappy day, and the year for like technology hasn't been good. Then I think of Alabama, and I gotta say, yeah, I can't complain. Biff, and I know I'm gonna get on Beard for that. Not trying to. I'm just being real. Biff says, John, do you think Common is good for anything related to eBay? I tried to train it to do my end sell similar, and it took too long. I think, well, the reason why that takes so long is that when you're doing your end item sell similar or anything, I was having it fetch the items I was buying online, cross-referencing it with data on Amazon, and then running a draft for me. And then it would stop after the first draft. Cool. Okay. And I'm having a conversation with this thing. How do we get you not to stop? And they're like, well, it's kind of baked into our algorithm that we have to stop because we can't continue. If it's in case something goes wrong, we can't have something go crazy. So I'm like, well, how do I get a process developed to where I don't have to stop? And then it started saying, okay, we can interface with these other programs to do these things to where it's on point. I just really think that if you wanted to do end item sell similar, it might be something where you're having it do the bulk and do the bulk process. So you maybe train it to go into your account and end the oldest whatever 10% of your items or whatever you're doing, and then have it go in and go through the process and select all those items in your ended folder, and then launch those. I just tell it to relist, not to sell similar. That way, you don't have to worry about those ended items not being deleted. But it's something to toy with. I think there's many promising things that you can use it for. Life is Short says, up my 1-day shipping to same day this week and had good results. The algorithm and demand of what eBay wants from its sellers is never ending. And eBay will, and I think that's why I get a lot of success. I mean, we have same day shipping. We do have returns. About half of them are free, half of them are not. We use the coupons that they've built. We use the markdown sales that they put together. These are all tools that will help you rank higher than your competition who's not using them. Reseller Life, with overnight shipping, they can still get stuff before Christmas. They can, but it's going to cost them a lot more, especially on larger items, and it may not even be worth it at that point. Are pre-sales worth it? I've never done pre-sales. That might be a question for someone else. I never like to sell something I don't have in hand. Because you're kind of looking at that point as being kind of a drop shipper. Jovial says, looking back as this year is coming to a close, wasn't John the originator of the 6-7 craze? He had garage storage issues with shelf 6-7. I still don't understand the 6-7 thing, to be honest with you. I do know about it. I do know that Starbucks stopped offering the number 67 in their, like, when they're, well, no, not Starbucks, it's In-N-Out. They stopped offering the number 67 in their queue of numbers when someone orders something. But no, it's 7 and 9, and 7 and 9 are back. When we redid the garage, 7 and 9 are back now. They're no longer dead numbers. Count says, I'm considering it, but it's getting harder to get the coffin through customs, and Igor always had trouble at the gates. Joe Samard says, President Trump declared December 24th and 26th federal holidays. Will that affect the post office? That is the first thing that I thought, and I don't know. But that'll be a good question for, if I can, I don't think it'll let me, oh, it will. It'll let me copy and paste. So we will copy and paste and get a question through AI. How about that? Says, President Trump's executive order declares December 24th and 26th as additional holidays for executive federal departments and agencies, closing them and excusing most employees from duty. This does not directly affect the U.S. Postal Service, an independent agency outside of executive branch closures. USPS will operate with modified schedules and those dates on those dates rather than full closures. So there you go. So your local USPS may have limited hours on those days, but they're still going to be running. So let's do this. I think we have a bunch of numbers, or we don't have a bunch of numbers. Anybody put a number in earlier? Yes, we have some numbers. So I'm going to ask it randomize. Hold on real quick. Randomize a number between, if I can type, this thing's not going to let me type, 1 and 200. So let's see. I'll show it to you guys. Here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. If you have your number in by now, I give you guys plenty of time. This is for the hat and the shirt. Here we go. Good luck. 42. Well, 142. You see that? I didn't like the way they did it. So a randomly selected number between 1 and 200 is 142. There you go. So 142, and that is Duncan. No, he hit that after I hit it. You can't add your submission after I run it. Looking through some of these in chat. Looks like the winner is going to be right there. Upstate Picker is your winner. Sorry, Duncan, you hit 142 a little bit too. Duncan didn't win because he cheated a little bit. He had his crickets help him with that. So Upstate Picker, send me an email at flippinainteasy2020@gmail.com, and we will have TreeCat send you out a hat and give me your size so that I can make sure that they get you the right size shirt. Let's see. What are the comments we got going on here? Ping G says, make sure you can ship within 40 days of the end of the pre-sale listing. I didn't know that. Busy Girl says, 63 likes, 126 watching. Show some love to John and Jenny. Hit the like. Yeah, if you guys want a sale, here's one way to do it. Hit the like button. We're going to put those positive vibes out there for you to get a sale within the next 24 hours. Yeah. Roman says, John will quit YouTube when Raiders will win the Super Bowl, which is never. I hope they get close. USMC Mom 31 says, we're handing out complete Christmas food boxes with turkeys or hams and kids gifts to 65 families in need here in our small northern Arizona town. That's outstanding. That is awesome. So good on you for that. Paul says, if you ever don't feel up to a live Monday, Friday, John, or for whatever reason, just post on the channel. You don't owe us anything. Never feel under pressure. We'll take whatever we can get. I appreciate that. I just think you think of your favorite shows, how you feel when it doesn't come on. That's kind of the way I look at it. I'm glad you're continuing on YouTube. Well, we are for this year for sure. We got Lisa Dury says bees, I guess. I don't know what that's for, but thanks. Nice to see you. To be or not to be? That is the question. Yes. Biff says, John, do you think you can find enough good items to double your volume? I think I can. I think I have been focusing on more of one vendor. I haven't been looking at another vendor, and I still haven't bought a pallet since, I haven't even looked at pallets since May. I've totally disregarded pallets. And I got to tell you, there are some good pallets still out there. 5% of the pallets that you find are worth selling on eBay. 95 are not. 95% are just trash, and it's going to be more of a headache than it's worth. So it's not feeling... See, last year I felt sort of pressure. I was buying pallets like once or twice a week. My goal was I got to fill up the storage unit because when Q4 comes, I'm going to have a hard time finding stuff. And this year rolled around and I wasn't having a hard time finding stuff. So I had a lot of stuff in that storage unit, and I had to figure out, look, let's get this stuff, pull it back. Let's close the storage unit. Let's come up with a strategy that I maybe can use next year a little bit better. And so I know that my main sourcing is been great in Q4, but I found another vendor out here with similar liquidation, single liquidation, not just pallets, that I can fall back on. So I do believe that I can double my volume. For me, it's about processes. How do I get it processed? So I am limiting myself. If I know that I can only go through 70 items in a week, which may not sound like a lot, but on the main account, remember, I'm still running the second account. If I know that I can comfortably get through 70 in a week with my current processes, I'm not going to try to source any more than that. But now if I get these processes fixed, now I can ramp things up. Maybe take a little more that time that I'm saving from my processes and get more of these other sites sourced and looking for better opportunities. I haven't been looking, honestly, since May at other sites like I probably should have. Happy birthday, Mike. Is it Mike's birthday? Is that Mike Camparelli, or what Mike is it? Well, darn it. Happy birthday, Mike. Big Dre Graphic Tees says, I had $80 return that USPS didn't deliver to me and reshipped it to the buyer. eBay refunded the buyer, saying USPS attempt to deliver counts as received. So now I'm out the money and the item. That sucks. I would see if you could talk to someone to dispute that. Now, if they attempted to deliver it and they sent it back, wow. Have you been in contact with the buyer? I know that's like what eBay will tell you. Contact the buyer. But maybe you have someone that's honest. Tay says, we listen to you because you give us good advice. Okay, I try. I try not to steer you guys wrong. Life is Short says, yes, still reselling. Just going to cut back my hours, 15 hours a week. Reselling at a high level takes a toll. At least it takes a toll on a lot of people. Yes, happy birthday, Mike. Is it Mike's birthday, Mike Camparelli?
No, it's Mike Curtis, and take your screen share off.
Mike Curtis. I'm so focused on the comments that I didn't even see that I had you on screen share. So Jenna had to come in here and tell me. Biff says, I will miss Beard tonight, but understand he wants to watch the last game of the season. Just kidding. Basket says, Alabama versus Oklahoma. No, that's not a ball game. It's a marginalized civil war. That is funny. Big Dre says, when it comes to whether you decide to continue YouTube, I'll tell you the same thing I told my last supervisor. Do whatever's best for you. Don't feel bad that you're letting down the crew. Well, at this point, we've already made a decision for 2026, and we will give you another update next year at this time. And it's kind of the way I'll do it. If things are going great, and it doesn't have to necessarily be that I'm killing it on YouTube or killing it on eBay. But if things are going fine, then we have our health, and there's other obstacles that aren't messing things up, then we will be here. Upstate Picker says, strange buyer requests are definitely more plentiful this time of year. Had someone say they'll accept my offer contingent on them purchasing their own label through pirate ship. I would be okay with that, maybe, if they sent you a valid label. Why they wouldn't want you to do it? They think that you're overcharging them for shipping, I guess. Paul says, I'm still popping capsules every 4 hours, but getting better. Good job. I'm going to see a friend's cover band tomorrow night. Well, enjoy yourself. Tanya's with us. Hi, I'm finding it hard to search for anything anywhere, I think, because of algorithms. Why is it harder when AI is supposed to be here to make things easier? AI is, and now if you're talking about eBay's AI, which is sort of an in-house AI, it's not, to me, the same as a Google AI. It's taking into account your previous search history. That is why, as sellers, we're like, why is search so screwed up? Well, I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why search is so screwed up from you, the seller, if you're a seller doing comps, if you're looking up stuff all the time on search, well, eBay is looking at you as a buyer, and it's saying, wow, this buyer's got a lot of things they're looking for. We don't really know what to put them on. So it may be trying to figure out all that data as a seller you've been trying to look up, and now accounting for that in your search as a buyer. Maybe it's a good idea to create a buyer's account that you only do buyer searches on and you don't do seller searches on. But aside from that, eBay is trying to match you up with the best product based on the words that you're using. I think they're doing a better job than they were a year or two ago when people were just up in arms. It wasn't even functional. Time to Sell Collectible says, now you're talking some tech and sport memberships, Rockstar Millennial who wants $39.95. No. I mean, that more power to them. I only do the membership at $2.99 just to keep the unserious people out. But the idea, I've always been against charging $40 a month for something that maybe I learned for free. The idea that I'm now passing it on to you and making a quick buck. I think more of you guys than that. You guys aren't just a paycheck. I mean, it's not even that. I'm getting paid from Google AdSense. They are the ones that pay me. I'm never going to come on here and say, guys, I need money for this or I need money for that. I just can't do it. I've had moments in my life where I've been very close to asking someone for money, and I just don't. I've never been that. I just can't do it. I'm never one to borrow, or I'm not really one to lend. And even when someone asks me to borrow, I get really weird about it because I know how I've heard horror stories about people borrowing money, right? And that person like disappears, or they're never the same, or I'm kind of weird like that. Michelle R says, good evening. Did you get my email about a month ago with my address? Yeah, did you not? I'll have to look, but you didn't get your... Hit me up again. Flipping ain't easy. I'll do some checking on that. Flipping ain't easy. Make sure you have the right one. So I'll put it in chat at gmail.com. Because if you put an apostrophe on ain't, or if you put something spelled differently, I may never see that email. So I thought we received all the emails for the shirt and the hats. So make sure you let me know. We'll definitely get one out to you. Let's see. Basket says, new rule. Any nations beginning with a vowel must have the vowel reside within the first 10 letters of the alphabet. Shopping with Cheryl. Amazon sellers want me to advertise their Hoochie Mama clothes. Yeah, right. I'm an old chicken farmer. LOL. That's funny. I know Archie. He does a lot of TikTok videos, and he's been doing. Go check out Biscuit Butt on TikTok when you get a chance. And for anyone who knows Archie, it's just enjoyable to watch. He does a really good job. Time to Sell Collectibles. John, you got to do what pays the bills. Yes, I agree. And if it ever comes down to where it's like, guys, I'm not making money on eBay. I need to try to make this YouTube thing make me money. You guys are going to know about it. I'm going to be transparent and say, I have an opportunity here. What should I do? But I don't see that. I'm just not, I don't think I'm wired that way. Jovial says, go ahead and take the offer on the exercise machine and do a demonstration video in your banana hammock. Yeah, I'm sure Jenna would appreciate that. Samantha says, John, you have the integrity and convictions. It's a hell of a platform to sit, my friend. I totally get it. I'm glad you guys understand. Big Dre says, I don't think you'll be viewed as a grifter if you sell fitness equipment. I mean, One Foot Flipper used to promote Timu. I didn't like that, but plenty of others said good on him for doing it. And see, I criticized that, and not because they're doing a gig for Timu, but if you're in front of a camera saying, you know what, my livelihood depends on reselling, but I'm going to support some company that's going to hurt that livelihood or put a dent into my market share, I just I don't agree. But if you got to find a way to make money, I mean, who am I to say, don't use any tool? For me, I don't agree. For him, that's he's got to decide if that's what he wants to do. Roman says, Jovial, if John do it, that exercise equipment won't survive. I might break the thing it might only be useful for someone who's a little lighter than I am. Paul says, I won an auction on the 13th and paid. Estimated delivery 27th. The guy messaged me 3 days ago saying, difficult to pack, but going out today. So far, not marked as dispatched. LOL. Good luck with that, huh? Keep us posted on that. I'm curious how that's going to work out. Life is Short says, it's definitely a pain selling on Facebook Marketplace. It's a different patience dealing with buyers. Cleared out 4 bulky items this month. Getting my garage redone. Let's see. Roman says, watch PPP only because Primo is wearing an Expos hat. Yes, he does wear that, or his C3PO hat too. Paul says, you can't fool me. B Nudes. It was a UK seller. It's like I had one of those and sold it internationally, and mine was framed and went next day. What's with the packing sob story? I mean, that's nuts. It's like either get it out or, what's up? Jovial says this would be the break John needs, as guessing the silver fox ellipticating his leopard print would go viral. Yeah. And then it's like, that's the guy that had his junk out on the exercise machine. I don't want to be known as that guy. I don't want to be viral on TikTok. Jody says, oh man, Washington here. Finally had to go down off my hill today, and it's worse than it's ever been or that you've ever seen in 50 years. Roads opening for now, but obvious destruction to homes. So bad, and more rain coming. And this is a bad time of year. I mean, people can't even enjoy the holidays when they have that kind of thing going. Landshark says, can I train Comet to use list easier? If you have a task that requires it to use the mouse or a keyboard and you're logged into it on the browser, it can do it for you. Yes, you can. You can. Tanya says, thank you for having this live stream. Well, thank you for being here, darn it. I'm curious how many people we've lost. Just me rambling on. Looks like not a whole lot. So thank you guys for being here. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you guys. Let's see here. See if I can get some more comments before we head out. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm trying to catch up to where I was at. Okay, here we go. Dre says, I think 6-7 has to do with an online satanic cult that encourages people to off themselves amongst other horrible things. 467 is the group for 99. I think it's multiple groups. Well, that's probably why I'm not following it. But thanks for educating me on that. Samantha says, I remember when you did the palettes. That's how I found you. And Jenna, I was very intrigued, like those YouTube contents. Yeah, they were fun to go through. I still have them up. If you guys are ever bored and want to see what kind of stuff that you can pull out some of these palettes, I do have some liquidation unboxing videos from many years ago. Chaos for Hire says, I have not sourced since May and still can go until April without sourcing. And that's awesome. That's awesome. But don't pass on good deals if they come across, for sure. Paul says, John, if you double your volume, you won't just need the exercise machine. You'll need wider doors. That's funny. And Todd's listing for early Christmas next year. For next year Christmas. That's awesome. Dominic Evans says, hi, nice to see you, Dominic. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate that. That's awesome to me. When we get new people dropping in, that means to me more to me than you will know. John Gaynor says, hi, John. Thanks for the show every Monday and Friday. I learned a lot. Thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Todd says, I'm an unserious member of John's channel, but you do well with the information. Dominic says, I love watching your videos. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Michelle says, not yet. Send me another email, Michelle. We'll figure it out. We'll get it worked out for you. Rad Relic says, if you need to borrow money from me, that means you have screwed over everyone else in your life. Or you just manage your money wrong. I mean, hey, in Vegas, it's certainly someone can mismanage their money and handle it wrong and be out. There's a lot of people that have come to this town with a lot of money and weren't able to even get home. They lost everything. Paul says, John, yes, you are weird, just not as weird as the rest of us. Todd says, if John quits YouTube, then I'll threaten not to watch his new videos. That's a guarantee if I quit. But I'm not a quitter because I'm not a quitter because necessarily I would be giving up. It would be because I didn't feel like the content was relevant anymore. That would be the reason why. Let's see. Kind of go down here a little bit. Now that Beard's watching his game, I can skip a couple comments without hearing about it. Todd says, Cyril, that was a pirated VHS copy of something he had. That's what happens when I click on a conversation. Jovi says, I was so upset when I found out a close friend of mine was struggling financially and didn't ask me for a little assistance. No need to struggle. Yeah. And that's not to say I haven't helped people out. It's just I kind of feel, I start thinking about these stories and I just don't. I do, but I don't, if that makes sense. Rad Relic says, was packing a monitor in the basement and was listening to you. I didn't get to flirt with Roman that much. Brandon Bramlett says, currently listing like a madman. Just want to say Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, John and Jennifer, always being here. Well, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for checking in with us, and keep listening like a madman. That's not a bad thing. Tanya says, why people so dark with the numbers? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. John Hammock Miller. You could be the new Richard Simmons. No. That would get me to quit YouTube fast if that was to happen. Time to sell collectibles. I have a buyer comment for us resellers. I ordered an item and after payment, 10 days were added to ESD requested cancel. Estimated scheduled delivery. Requested cancel. Buyer refused. Took 6 days to get label noticed. Still not with the carrier. That's no good. Coppercat says, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Dominic Evans says, I bought a membership but still showing join. Not sure if I signed up on another email address. Yeah, I'm from Wales, so late here, but always catch up on your videos. You know what, Dominic? I did see, and now I see you're in green. So your name is in green, not on here, but on the chat. That means that you're a member. So I did see also in the original video of the live stream we tried to do with all the technical difficulties, it did say something that you did join. So I think it did take. So thank you and welcome to the channel. Make sure if you're a member, you're checking out the members only content that we have. It's on the channel. Also, we do members only lives once, maybe twice a month. And we really go into doing a deep dive. And even though you weren't with us when we did those lives, you can go back and watch those lives. And there's a lot to learn. Let's see. Busy Girl says, has a question. Shipped 1 day late because of a power outage. Post office closed also. Should I bother contacting eBay? It shows up as late shipping. That's probably because the scan came in late and it arrived late. You can call, but the thing is, they're going to need to verify that. They may not allow you to, but if it's only one late, it's not going to hurt you. It's more than 3% that shows up late where you have a problem. Tanya says, I threw out a DHS rewinder. Those are still in demand. Power Corrupts says, question is, anybody notices that FedEx has been rocking it with the cheaper shipping versus USPS lately? I believe it's because they don't have the surcharges added in. Might be wrong on that. But they do have their economy, ground economy, which is, to me, just as good as their ground. But we still use FedEx. Any package that's over 10 pounds and over, a decent sized box. We put out one today that was 28 by 9 by 7. Not that great, huge of a box, but we found it as having a better price. Tanya says, Merry Christmas to everyone, Brandon and everyone else, and happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. Here's looking forward to 2026. We're going to kick ass and taking names. And see, that live stream, and I appreciate that, that live stream where we get fired up for 2026 is going to take place next week. I think it'll be on Monday the 29th, where we have our kick-ass live stream, where we get fired up and motivated. Time to sell collectibles. I believe that order will arrive undamaged, but will wait 14 days to create a return. Yeah, that's sad. Now it's got to go back through the mail and possibly get damaged. And then if it gets damaged from you to them, now they can ding you for returning it in a different condition. Let's see. Tanya says, what do we get with the membership? Membership is $2.99. You get access to other content that I release that I feel like the viewers, the mass population of viewers that watch the channel for information really don't care about what John's doing or this or that and the other thing. And so those type of videos, and also, like I said, we have the members only lives where we go in and do store reviews. It's a smaller group of people, and people are more willing to offer their store. Will you take a look at mine, see what I need to do and change to my listings to maybe help me get more sales? And we've had a number of people volunteer, and the feedback has been pretty good, that people were like, yeah, I'm getting more sales now because of it. Let's see. Busy Girl, thank you. John, you're welcome. Joe says, you got to believe in order to receive. Well, let's kick ass next year. How about that? I believe that 2026 is going to be challenging, but we can do it. Power Corrupts, this has been hands down the more financially lucrative Q4 I've experienced in the last 5 years. That's good to hear. We're up 25% over last year's Q4, but the last 2 weeks got me I'm not nervous about it, but I'm hoping for a little bit more than, a $50 day here, $300 day there. I want to get consistent. John says, you'll be shocked at what he can do with the jar. Let's see. How does no returns work for us? No returns is one of the factors that eBay looks at when they're comparing you to your competition. It is frowned upon by eBay, even though they allow it. It's really more of an option in place if you have like a parts or repair kind of item, like an as-is item where you don't want to return because of, it's all sales final kind of a sale. I think a lot of people use the no returns option thinking that they're going to avoid all returns, when in reality, someone gets an item and they just claim INAD, not as described, arrived damaged. Doesn't matter if you have a no returns policy, they're going to override that and force the return on you. All the while you're getting lower in search because eBay is lowering your standing, because as compared to your competition, it's not as ideal to have no returns. Your competition might have 30-day buyer pays. That's still better than having no returns. Same day handling versus 3-day handling in eBay's eyes is better than 3. So if they're looking at your competition, trying to rank you, it hurts your ranking when you have things like that. Paul says, no chimney here now, jovial, so I'm going to eat the mince pie and drink the brandy myself. He can carry on past Bob Buck. That's nice of you to tell Santa he can go on. Power Corrupts, I'd love or be happy with a $300 a day week. You can do it. You can do it. The goal for us is to maintain 500 on the main and build up the second to like 200 or 300 a day. Landshark Picker says, good luck with no returns. If the customer wants to return it, they will find a way. I mean, the savvy buyers will know that is an option and how to open a return. Power Corrupt says, I've had free returns for over 20 years, and the benefit far outweighed the disadvantages for me, in my humble opinion. And I can tell you also that if you're a top rated seller and you have free returns, that listing, you're going to get a 10% reduction in your final value fees because you have free returns on there. Roman says, Craig doesn't allow returns. All his returns go to USPS Lost Mail Warehouse. Basket Noodle says, see what the holidays bring for retailers. There may be changes in card processing matters. If it's a friendly fraud season, it's being talked about. Yeah, friendly fraud. Like, I didn't buy that. You gave your credit card to Aunt Thelma. She bought something, and you're going to say, well, I never bought it. I'd like to see how that turns out. I think when you claim that, it's almost like, well, then are you going to press charges against this person because we have their address where it was shipped to for fraud, credit card fraud? And the answer is usually, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Well, then you're paying the charge. Samantha says, don't forget to play Powerball. 1.5 billion? I need to call my son. We need to get that going because, have him bring over some tickets for the holidays. That'd be a nice Christmas. I don't know if that's for tonight, though. Usually they draw like on Fridays and Tuesdays for Powerball. So, well, with that said, look, had a great live. We had over 100 people watching, even though I had nothing to provide you, not a bit of information other than your great comments, answered some of your questions. And that's kind of, unless we get more information about things from eBay, which I doubt, any developments, it's kind of the way the live streams are going to go. We're going to do a live stream on Monday. My son's coming in on Monday, so it may be an abbreviated one. We're not going to be doing one next Friday because it's the day after Christmas and we're all still going to be hanging out. But we will do one on the following Monday. That's the 29th? 29th. And that's going to be, I guess we'll go ahead and theme it now. It's going to be our 2026 kick-ass live stream, and hopefully you guys will be part of it. So thank you for being here, and you just know that not only is flipping ain't easy, but YouTube ain't easy, obviously, from what I had to deal with today. So that said, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you here very soon. Take care.